up first, we're going to talk about my unfortunate choice of Boys.
Why you say unfortunate?
Because it's not. I don't feel it's a good review.
Well,
for
let's
the
go.
show.
Let's go ahead. Come on.
I picked Boys in the Trees based solely on some artwork I saw. Some of it looked like it was the sequel to Twilight, and some of it looked pretty cool. The summary for this movie is: on Halloween 1997, two estranged teen skaters embark on a surreal journey through their memories, dreams, and fears. Written by Nicholas Verso and just directed by him as well. Just for fun, I looked at the tags for this movie, and here are some of my favorite plot keywords that you can find this movie for. Just go along with it. They're tags. Halloween costume, skateboarding, wolf mask, wolf costume, estranged friend, sitting in a tree, internet porn, drinking vodka from the bottle, teenage drinking, watching porn on the internet, dial-up connection, teenage friends, rekindling friendships, shirtless male. Would you think that... Do they drink vodka out of a bottle?
Yeah.
Do people search for that to find movies?
Where's the porn come in at?
I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't remember.
Just because they're teenagers? Or it's just a given that porn's in
Well,
their
it's
life.
1997. If there was internet porn in this movie,
dial-up.
it was like waiting 5 minutes for a picture.
little bit at a time.
Yeah, you can see oh yeah, they're coming now. Here's the boobs.
ASL, please.
By the time
10 for 10.
By the time you get a full thumb in there, you're done anyways. Shutting it off.
Oh, it's so good.
You don't make it past the navel.
One of the basically what happens in this movie is that there's this kid who's he's not a good kid. None of these kids are good kids, and they're fucking with this other kid, this other little nerdy kid.
The good kid. He's a good kid.
He's a good little, but he seems like
There's
he's a
two
lot
good
younger
kids.
than them. Evidently,
No, he's just smaller.
yeah, he's just a small kid. But but they fuck with
I
him.
think he's a lot younger now. He's small. Yeah, he's
a small good kid.
They fuck with him so bad. They're throwing birds at his windows. They're fucking terrorizing this kid. They punch him in the face, take his picture, hang up all over town. And you come to find out that this other kid that's hanging out with these bad dudes and taking photos used to be his best friend until the incident. I think we all know what that was. That's a dark turn in this movie.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that caught me way off guard. Evidently, at one point when they were children, he kind of abandoned him while he was...
Some bullies confronted the two friends, and one ran
Unzipped.
off and left the other kid behind, and it shows a picture of the bully unzipping his pants.
So we know what happened there.
Yeah.
And that's that you can't come over. I don't think you can come back from that in a friendship. Like, dude, you fucking left me there. And
Yeah, it's just a group of bullies picking on a kid. You find out that one of the bullies used to be friends with the kid until he was able to be a cool kid, and then he started bullying the kid.
well, he ignored him right after
And
that incident.
The movie is kind of them playing an old child, the two that used to be friends playing an old childhood game while walking through the woods, an imagination game, and it just kind of recounts their past.
Right. Did you guys have any nostalgia with this at all? Because we were like
For
teenagers.
sure. The soundtrack was on point.
Like
And-
like teenagers.
And one thing, it seemed like in most movies, like when they try to put rock and heavy metal, it doesn't fit or feels forced.
right.
This felt good. It was natural. Like anytime a good song came on, it was just
It
was
wasn't
perfect.
It wasn't really nostalgic for me because I wasn't into
Oh, I was listening
Bullying.
to all that shit.
of the music.
I was listening.
I was in the bullying.
I was listening to all that fucking shit though.
No, all the music in it. I mean, they really did do a great job with the soundtrack, but it wasn't like
Even
I
if-
didn't. Wasn't what?
It's just the era.
Even
Yeah,
if you
it
did,
You've heard those songs
Yes.
almost every day, whether you
right.
like
Even
the
if you
bands or
didn't
not.
like that music, think about horror movies that were made during that time. They would have that shit on the soundtrack. They'd sell you the soundtrack at the fucking before the movie, in a bunch of ads. But it was that was a highlight for me. There's a lot of nostalgia. I think I connected a lot with the main character because he was like our age, not because of anything else that was going on.
Because of that time, Frank one time abandoned his friend when a group
Everybody,
of bullies.
let's be honest, everybody's abandoned friends.
It kind of is like that. Yeah, you kind of did abandon
Well, I didn't abandon them. They just
Then he-
no. This
then
is
he
what
went off.
happened.
Didn't he shoot
This isn't
someone
what
in the
happened.
Navy or something?
No, I'm not
Well,
going
let's
to
say
talk
he
bad
did.
about. He's got a hard enough life as it is, just like everybody else, man. Jesus Christ. See, this is
You
the
feel
problem right
bad.
here.
You
This
feel
is the-
bad, don't
This
you?
is the fact of the
This
matter.
is you feeling bad.
I did let loose some of my friends that could not hang out with you guys.
So you can actually put yourself in
Yeah, people didn't like us.
into
It
the
was-
shoes.
think
you
about-
were, you kind of
think-
were opposite.
I was a kid playing Magic the Gathering in the lunchroom, and my friends were kids that would play with me. You guys would come over. This is exactly what would happen in fucking study hall, man. You guys would come over. Palmer would take my fucking CD player and my book and look through it, and you'd fuck with their Magic cards. You'd hide them.
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude,
No,
me?
You would just.
You were, you were a bully in high school.
You just take a palm it, slide
Just,
it on
just
I
to make
was
this
interested
clear.
in the game. I wanted to know what was on the card.
Just to make this clear, I wasn't in on this. I'd have played Magic.
No, Jared was the cool kid playing guitar in the fucking gym. What the hell, man?
I think Jamie.
Cool guy or a douchebag?
I thought he was the
Yeah.
coolest guy, except for that guy
I-
that broke the backboard.
I
That
think-
was the coolest guy.
I think
but-
Jason might have more of his finger on the pulse of this one. I remember a little bit of high school.
Right.
I don't ever remember being the cool guy.
I remember thinking you were the coolest guy. I was like, that guy he brought his guitar in here. He's play some fucking Marilyn Manson, brother.
Yeah, I think Jamie put me up to that to raise some money for a drum set that you used to play.
Yeah,
We played at the prom. How cool was that?
that was
Not
really
very-
cool.
No,
See,
it wasn't
again,
very cool, was it?
Again, I'm gonna say
we made people cry.
with your douchebag comment, I'm gonna say you got your finger fully on the pulse of what was happening.
But
So see, apparently there's plenty of nostalgia in this movie because it brings up memories.
yeah, we could talk. We're talking about high school now, but basically, this movie seemed like an extended episode of Are You Afraid of the Dark or Erie, Indiana. It was not a horror movie at all. It
No.
was supernatural drama,
Yes.
maybe a love story. I don't know. There was a couple moments.
So many levels of different emotions in this movie. I'm now starting to force myself to not get caught up. Was it a horror movie or not? If it has horror elements in it, and it does completely. What Halloween, just the kind of just the whole entire feel, the way it looks, the way it's shot, everything. I'm not going to say it's a straight up horror movie, but it just has so much else into it that
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not a horror movie. It's a horror movie with so many other elements in.
It's a drama set in horror movie trappings,
Yeah.
but there's actually
It's like a horror fairy tale drama.
Yeah.
Because like when they start playing the game, like it feels almost like dreamlike.
Yeah.
Like
definitely.
everything is just. I love this movie. I think was it 2016.
Yep.
I think this is probably one of the best movies to come out in 2016.
Don't get me wrong. I liked
Great
this
freaking
movie a
movie.
lot, but I'm just saying for our show, I was like, this isn't really for our show.
we don't always have
You don't
to,
know until you watch it.
we don't always have to eat bologna.
I watched
No.
this movie.
There's baloney in here, man. Who the fuck acts like these skater punks? Who's like, he's like, what did he say he wasn't gonna do? I'm not gonna vandalize thing. You will, dude. You'll fucking do whatever I fucking like.
Oh, the grave. He wasn't going to take pictures of them
He-
messing up the grave.
When they're in the convenience store,
Right.
he has a confrontation with the main bully
Yeah.
guy. Whatever he wanted him to do, I'm not gonna do
They-
that anymore, dude.
They messed with the kid's mom's grave
Oh yeah, yeah.
and
yeah.
wanted him to take pictures of it.
Yeah, in that I think there's some dialogue in it that's a little, I don't know, feels a little heavy for what I would think regular teens. Like they get a little everybody has parts they get a little too poetic. It's fitting for the vibe of the movie, but in like keeping characters feel real, it feels a little heavy. But I don't think.
Oh
it's
yeah,
like,
this
it's-
fucking movie
I
made me
wouldn't
cry like a little baby.
I wouldn't
bitch.
call.
So yeah, let's
I
get
wouldn't
into
call
that.
that baloney.
Let's get into Frank crying.
I cried at this movie. It's a sad movie. Think about this is all.
It is.
This is.
But I just want to know exactly what.
This is what
'cause-
made me cry.
Okay.
Whenever I was thinking about like, it made me think of being a kid, and it was like, how many kids do you remember in elementary school that you remember their faces but you can't think of their names? like shit like that. Like you're like, people just, friendships. Anybody. There's kids that you were hanging out with all the time that you don't know anymore or whatever. You see them now, it's fucking weird.
I did not have many friends. You guys were about it.
Well,
and you're still here.
But anyways, what part of the movie did that tear drop?
It might have started. I might have started feeling that way after that. Him leaving his friend in the little rape.
Oh, so
thing.
early.
Well,
so
that was little tinges, but then when they're up in the tree at the end, whenever they're like, and then it really came whenever he fucking saw him dead in the lake or whatever.
Yeah. When he finally broke down and hugged the boy at the end, that's when my emotions started to flare off. I was like, whoa, gotta bring myself out of it a little bit.
Just because we didn't get there, but we kind of said it. We told what the movie about. You find that one of the smaller of the two friends that's always getting bullied, they go on this big journey back to get home playing this game. When they get to the very end and get where they're going, the smaller kid is actually dead in the water, and the other one has.
And he's been dead the whole time.
Yeah, he's been dead for pretty much the whole day. The only scene I think he's actually alive is where he gets punched in the face right in the beginning.
Well, they show him sitting there drinking Jack Daniels, and then he breaks the bottle, and then that's the last.
But so he's been walking with the ghost of this friend just long enough to realize
I've heard someone say it's almost like Bill Murray, the Christmas Story
Scrooge.
or whatever. Yeah, or I guess you can say that. How it kind of walks you through.
That's what it's called, Scrooged.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
But I was actually thinking of...
the real one.
Yeah.
Christmas Carol.
But it's the same thing.
I heard it. I read constantly they were comparing it to Lost Boys mixed with Stand By Me, and I was like, that's not true. There's no fucking vampires. I don't know. There's a group of bad kids. I don't know if that's what you're saying Lost Boys for, but regardless, here's a life tip for everybody. No matter who goes down the dark storm drain tunnel, don't ever go down the dark storm drain tunnel. That never works out.
No matter who does it.
No matter who you see
Don't
walk
do
in
it.
there. Your wife walks in there. You say, hey, no, we don't know. I don't care if the dog's in there. Come out now. You never go in there. You never go in there. Ever.
So the black guy dressed all in white.
Death.
That's what I was thinking.
So if he keeps seeing death and he's kind of running from him, wanting to stay away from him, did he die at 4 p.m. when
I think the idea is, and it's really the only supernatural element to the show, is he's a ghost. So like he's just kind of
wandering.
Yes. Yeah. And I kind of saw it coming. I won't lie. I wouldn't be surprised to hear a lot of people be like, I kind of called that. Like they have him in corpse paint.
I did not call it.
And it really set in that it was like, yes, definitely, when they kind of ended up at that the party thing.
Yeah,
and Day of the Dead.
Yeah, and there was the picture of him with the Day of the Dead.
Well, yeah, that was that's a giveaway.
It was like, this kid's probably dead.
And this is my second time watching it, and it's just as good. And there's little things, just like in any other time you see a movie twice, that you pick up on the second time. This movie's great. I love it.
But they do. The bullies are kind of following them, not exactly chasing them, but just showing up in random places. And like the other supernatural elements are their shadows will be wolves. There's a lot of analogy to running.
The storytelling
with
to this is brilliant.
So,
yeah, I thought it was highly effective in celebrating Halloween just in general. I think it's a good Halloween movie because it is. Happening.
It is, but it's not in the forefront.
I think it's also highly effective at making you cry like a little baby. I will probably watch this again because I liked it a lot. I gave it a 7 out of 10. I'll probably give it a higher score on a rewatch.
Right ahead.
I'm going with an 8 on this. It's shot well. The soundtrack is awesome. So many different emotions come into this movie. It's not your straight horror movie, but who cares? I can't recommend this enough. Watch this movie. Really I really hope this would get a Blu-ray release in the U.S. I think it has one in the U.K., which I can get, but I hope this movie should be a lot bigger than what it is. So I hope it gets a good U.S. release and people get to see it.
Yeah, I had a hard one rating this movie. I found myself watching the clock a lot.
It is kind of long.
Yeah, I think it's an hour 52 or something like that.
Because they're walking a lot. It's the Lord
I love it.
It's the
I
Lord
love
of the
it.
Rings effect.
I found myself starting to watch the clock about a half hour in.
I can see that with you.
Like it didn't, but it's
You and Frank, I would
Yeah,
say.
I definitely. This was a segmented watch.
It's it's like the Relic for me. It's hard for me to really feel like I'm rating it fair because it's a very well put together movie. It looks good. I mean the look of it is really good. The only real criticism I would be like this works against the movie on technical wise is the dialogue just feels weighty for teens. That's about it. Everything else I thought was put together really well, but it's 98% heavy drama, and even at the end, at the end, like the bullies show up where the kid's dead, and the one friend that's still alive ends up crying on the shoulder of the worst of the bullies, and
he's still a terrible asshole.
And like he reaches out and kind of hugs him and gives him the it's okay, and they show scenes after they kind of have their little falling out of how mad that guy actually is. So they even kind of paint it like he's a horrible person, but more because he doesn't know how to feel feelings and express it. Like they other than some of the dialogue, they make the characters really real. But yeah, it's 98% heavy drama, so my entertainment level watching it was about a 5. Rating it as a movie, like saying,
here we go.
He gives me shit about
and
my
let me be
scale.
clear, it's not 98% heavy drama. I just want to say Jared's exaggerating that quite a bit.
Well, it feels unfair. My enjoyment of it was a 5, but because it's a kind of movie I
Whatever
don't
you
enjoy.
want, baby, whatever you want, come on.
Watching it, it's clearly put together way better than a 5, so that it just feels unfair. If you listen to Jason's description of it and say, that sounds like a movie I would like, absolutely listen to Jason and go with the 8. If you're like, man, that just kind of sounds like heavy drama, listen to me and don't watch it.
If you don't like serious movies at all, you're gonna be with Jared probably on a 5.
It might be I just watched it at a time where I wasn't watching. I didn't want to watch a movie to feel feelings.
I'll have to go back and look at the movies that came out in 2016, but I gotta say this is probably in the top 10.
So,
Well, there you have it.